When he said live, I had to breathe. She mentioned Ray Holt. Me and my wife joined up with him about 2 years ago. My testimony begins in 1988 when I married my beautiful wife on June 25th. In July, we decided we were going to Raynell, West Virginia to visit some of her kinfolks. We got there, we was having a great time. We were leaving on a Sunday, so they decided they were going to fix us some lunch. He fixed a big old juicy hamburger, boy, and I bit into that thing. Something changed. I looked over at my wife, she was fading away. I remember sweat was pouring down my face as somebody would pour a bucket of water over me. She said, let's go outside. We went outside. Next thing I know, her sister was smacking me. I think she was having pleasure with that. I was freezing to death, but yeah, that sweat was just pouring down my body. Put me in bed, they pulled covers on me, and I just could not get warm. Finally, her cousin said, let's take him to the clinic. Now, I found out just a few months ago, this clinic wasn't even supposed to be open. But God had it open for 2 hours on Sunday. He knew I was going to need help. We get there and they work around on me. Finally, the doctor said, you got a bleeding on the brain. We're going to have to fly you to Charleston, West Virginia. I was scared to death. Even though I knew the Lord, I was scared because I was afraid of leaving her behind. Now I remember flying away and I said, where's my wife? She said, she's behind you. I said, in the helicopter? And said, no, she's going to have to drive back. 2 hours from Raynell to Charleston. Her cousin made it in an hour and a half. As we sat there in a dark room by myself, no light nowhere, just me. Finally, she came in, the doctor came in and said, you got a tumor the size of a golf ball underneath your brain over your right eye. He said, I don't know how I'm going to get this thing out because it's connected to your brain. He said, if I take it out, you can be a vegetable for the rest of your life. Or you can be blind. Or even die. They take me into surgery, and I remember holding on my wife's hand for dear life. I didn't want to leave her. Finally, they wheeled me in there and began to do their thing. The doctor said, you develop a really bad blood clot. He said, I'll let you die. He said, I gave the time of your death. You were done. You were finished. Brother Robbie, he said he reached over and he put the scalpel down like this. He said something grabbed a hold of my hand. He said, I started doing cuts on you I couldn't have done if I went to college again. I didn't do the surgery. The man upstairs did. My oldest brother, you said, you mean the Lord? He said, yes, sir. As far as I'm concerned, that boy was dead. He was gone. I didn't know, they didn't know I knew that. I got the report at home and seen where I died, and I looked at my wife. I said, I know I did. She said, what do you mean by that? I said, I was walking through a dark tunnel. Seemed like a long way, but there was a light at that end. Closer I got to the end of that, better I felt. When I finally reached that light, some of the biggest pearly gates you ever seen in your life. They were big and they were huge. I couldn't see the top of it. But they wouldn't let me go in. They wouldn't let me go in. Finally, the doctor said you were coming through. He said, you were saying why? I said, I was asking the Lord why I had to go back. I was already there. I was a foot away from the gates. Those big things swung way open. I saw people standing everywhere. But he wouldn't let me go in. Several years went by. Finally, I was sitting on the couch by myself at home, and a voice came to me. Said, I'm not done with you. With nobody home with me, I was kind of looking around. I'm not done with you. Go and tell everyone you see what I've done for you. I went several years writing notes on churches' doors. Didn't get one answer. I called big churches, little churches, TV churches. Not one answer. Finally, Brother Richard Ray of Hope came to work. We worked together. He said, I need a drummer. I'm your man. Began to start drumming with him. God opened the doors for me. Every church I go to, I tell them what the Lord done for me. 17 years I carried 10% tumor connected to the brain. I had to learn a lot of stuff over because they took a piece of my memory with it. 17 years, they said it's connected under the brain. There's no way, no ifs, no buts, no ors. It's not coming out. Dr. Grosser called me up. He said, I need to see you right now. I get down there and tears flowing down his face, Brother Brian. I said, Doctor, don't tell me that thing came back. He said, no, sir, it's all gone. That's the God I serve. That's the God I serve. That's the God.